Hello, I'm Lisa Lord, and in our news tonight, another young Barbadian shot dead as gun violence continues to rise. Police say there's no crisis, but the murder rate is up by 200%. Sensors register an earthquake west of Barbados today. Regional leaders meet with Estonia's president on how technology transformed international investment in her country. And in sports, the Windies and England in a slogfest during the 4th ODI.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC News Night, starting now.
A 35-year-old man is dead following yet another shooting, this time in St. Philip. Our Shane Jones was on the scene earlier today.
Excuse the cliche, but what we've heard and some of the things we've seen seems to be like something straight out of a Hollywood movie scene. We heard about masked men. We heard about assailants escaping in a hired vehicle. And at the end of it all, in that shed right behind us, Barbados recorded its 13th murder for the year.
Police are currently conducting on-scene investigations, having responded to a report of a man being shot here at St. Martin's in St. Philip, in the area of a business known as Wayne Variety Shop. On arrival, it was discovered that the victim had already left the scene by private transport to get medical attention. It was later learned that he was pronounced dead on arrival at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital.
CBC News, we were able to secure an exclusive interview with an eyewitness who says he saw everything.
I hear 5 shots first. Then they hear 4, and they see a man running across there in a red ski mask and a red black plaid shirt. So I hear my man out there dead laying up on the ground. Like, man, good man, yeah. Man, traveling the boy, right, but good everything. I don't know what girl going on, but we got air out here, fella get shoot out here too already, so I don't know if all that connected back to one thing or what, you know what I mean? But they hope it go out here and get to.
So tell me, you think there would be any reason for anybody to target the guy that was killed?
Nah, he's a man, a nice guy, though. He never, like, affiliation is get killed. You understand? So you never know what a man gonna do on these side, and another man can't get the repercussion of it, you know? So they how it go here, man.
So when you saw the guys running in the ski mask, what did you do? Explain your feeling, what went through your body?
You might get shoot 6 times, big man. I lay down here and just watch and see what's going on. The distance off on me, watch you going across the pass, like right back there. They might have to look at the one way you got to hold you, because he got like either keep empty the gun or saying, you know what I mean? So you know where it go.
So what happens now? Are you gonna lay low for the next couple of days? In this community, what do you think is gonna happen now?
You're forced to lay low, cause man from this block here, cross the road, get shoot 5 times the other day. And now they say again, so if force to lay low, you know the police ain't got your security tight.
And Shane joins us now. Shane, you were on the scene, and as you said, this is the 13th death from a shooting this year. What have you picked up from the residents in the area? How do they feel at this time?
Yeah, well, Lisa, let me just say this. You can probably relate to this. When we go to these assignments, and we hear there's a murder somewhere, and we get our photographer and we get in the vehicle and we go down, and then sometimes we see someone still lying on the floor in a pool of blood. Many times you see a mother or father, some family member breaks down crying, and sometimes they hold on to us, you would know, for that, just some sort of support. And it weighs you down for a bit. It's a pretty hefty thing to have to go through. And especially for this year, it's happened now on the 13th occasion. What's worrying for me is that when I went to St. Martin's, the residents were very calm, and it's almost as if people are becoming numb to this, and this is something that we don't want to see. They're saying, you know, these things happen. That's what happens when you get involved in bad company. Not saying that this was the situation with this killing, but the residents are becoming so accustomed. It's kind of strange, and we don't want that. I know I was speaking to the police PRO, and he was saying that maybe sometimes the reaction is a bit different, because later in the news, I know we have a story on those crime statistics, but he was saying that, well, overall crime is down, murders and the more serious crimes are up, so that may make people feel that things are a little worse than they actually are. So that's the situation with people on the ground. There's a bit of mixed reaction. And later in our What's Trending segment, I know we have some reaction online on social media, what people have been saying about these killings. Well, Lisa, as you know, it's the second shooting death within 24 hours of each other. Police investigations are continuing after a teenager was killed in an exchange of gunfire with police last evening. The deceased has been identified as 18-year-old Kadeem Eiffel of London Road, Britain's Hill. Well, acting police public relations officer Rodney Innes says the incident unfolded at London Road, and after lawmen responded to information received about 2 men with guns. Now, this is what they're saying. 2 police units responded to the area. On arrival at the scene, Mr. Innes says police saw and confronted 2 individuals who were armed. The police came under attack by these 2 men, and they started to run away. Lawmen responded and shot 1 man who fell to the ground and was later pronounced dead at the scene. 1 loaded firearm was recovered. Now, anyone who may have information pertaining to this matter is asked to contact the Hastings Police Station at 430-7612, Police Emergency at 211, or any police station. For now, it's back to you, Lisa.
Thank you so much, Shane. And of course, all of this is happening. The Royal Barbados Police Force is reassuring Barbadians that the country is in no way experiencing a crime crisis. Deputy Commissioner of Police Erwin Boyce did, however, reveal a 200% rise in murders for the year compared to 2017. And he made those comments during the national consultation on the social response to crime at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre. Our Sharika Griffith was there.
Deputy Commissioner Boyce says the force is no doubt very concerned with the recent spate of criminal activity. But despite a drastic increase in murders for the first 7 weeks of the year, major crime as a whole is down.
We have seen 60 less serious crimes for the year. Yes, murders have risen by 200%, from 4 over the same period in 2018 to 12 in 2019. However, crimes such as robbery, aggravated burglary, and theft from the person, as well as residential burglaries, have decreased over the same period.
Stakeholders gathered for the consultation also heard that the majority of criminal activity has been located in the Bridgetown Division,
St. Michael and parts of Christchurch. Indeed, these areas, as you know, represent the most densely populated areas in Barbados. Given context to the murder, however, we can state that out of the 12 murders, 9 males and 3 females died. 6 of the murders involved the use of firearms. 7 have been cleared up to today. Even as it relates to shooting, the Bridgetown Division remains in the lead.
Mr. Boyce also revealed that criminals have increasingly been exploiting technological advancements, including the internet.
We have seen not any major rise in sexual offenses, in particular in stranger-driven rapes. But we have noticed that social media plays an integral role in most reported sexual offenses committed against young girls. They hook up on the social media, they meet, and then they are forced into what can be considered date rape sex.
Drug trafficking, fraud, and rising organized crime have also been occupying the attention of the force. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Thank you so much, Sharika. And we're hearing tonight that efforts are on to stem the tide of juveniles going before the law courts. According to Registrar of the Supreme Court, Barbara Cook-Aline, the offenders are mainly between the ages of 13 and 15. She says an initiative called Law in Action has been bearing some fruit.
What we did, invite them to the court to see the law in action, how it treats young juveniles that come to the court. And it had a great impact on them. We've continued again this year. Ministry of Education is here, and they reached out to us again this year to make sure we could do that among, this time, not the general body of the school, but those who were delinquent and in need of seeing the system in action along with their parents. So the parental aspect came into it, because parents are integral in changing children. The impact they have is incredible. It could be negative or positive. We need to have them on board.
And Mrs. Cook-Aline was delivering remarks at that national consultation on crime. She hopes the Juvenile Act will soon be reformed as some of the punishments are outdated.
It's interesting because our act is very old. We actually operate on now. It's in the 19th century. So imagine the laws and the punishment in there are now considered cruel or unusual in some circumstances. You can send a child off on a boat as punishment. So you don't enforce that in the 21st century. Restorative justice, where each person gets to say and say what they want to say. The child sacrificed their PlayStation, their toy to the victim for a while, recognize that what they did was in fact beyond reproach and now need to get back around to where they should be.
Well, there's confidence in the local economy despite the slowdown. It comes as a regional bank has opened a new branch in the heart of a growing residential community. First Citizens Bank now has a branch in the Villages at Coverley in Christchurch. And according to Chief Executive Officer of the bank's Barbados operations, Carol Eluther Jean-Marie, it comes as there are signs that growth is coming. She says several opportunities are on the horizon, and the reviews from the International Monetary Fund emissions have been encouraging.
Yes, we know that we've just been through the debt restructure along with the rest of the bank and the rest of the population, the rest of the banking sector. But we are confident that there is scope and there is room to grow. Hence the reason why we are expanding with this new branch. And pretty soon we will be opening another branch in the Wildy environment to show and really show our commitment to the market in Barbados.
As for the decision to open a branch here, Ms. Luther Jean-Marie says they see it as a strategic location.
We have the students who are based within the same Coverley environment, and we also have businesses that exist right here. As I said before, because we have put it as a small operation with a digital focus, for us it's a plus in that we are bringing a different product, we are bringing a different focus. So people who, a lot of young people nowadays don't really want to come into banking. They want to sit down in the comfort of their home, send in instructions. They want to be able to come in, just sign something and move on. And so this is the clientele that we are catering to in this small operation.
And with fees across the banking sector rising, the CEO says that First Citizens has made a decision not to increase theirs and will not be doing so at least within the next 2 years.
Our customers can attest to that our fees have not changed at all in the last year, and that's because we made a commitment to keep our fees as is for the next 2 years, and that is what First Citizens is presenting to its customers.
The new Coverley branch will add to the current 6 branches, with another in Wildy set to open soon. Well, tourism authorities continue to mold the island's top foreign exchange earner. Tonight, they are in fact wining and dining some of those visitors who just keep coming back to our shores. Our Ryan Broom is at Lancaster Great House for the second of those events for the year and joins us live. Good evening, Ryan.
Good evening, Lisa. How are you? And welcome. Good evening, viewers. Well, yes, this is the second event that the BTPA is holding this year to, as you know, wine and dine, as you said, those returning visitors to Barbados, as that is very important for our tourism product. And joining me now is Marsha Aline, the CEO of the BTPA, to talk about just how important this is to Barbados's tourism product and to keep those visitors coming back. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening to you. In fact, the repeat guests account for about 42% of our total arrivals in Barbados on a continual basis. And we felt that we wanted to ensure that the repeat guests knows how important they are to the Barbados tourism economy, Barbados altogether. And we wanted to continue these loyal receptions so that they understand how much they're appreciated in Barbados.
Okay. How has that response been? They like how these events really, I guess they're seeing a different side of Barbados each time too. They come to some of these events.
Well, the responses have been overwhelming. You would have known previous years we would have done the receptions at the lower court, and we felt that the Minister of Tourism felt that this year we wanted to broaden the scope and ensure that more persons have an opportunity to get a piece of the tourism pie. And we also wanted to introduce our guests to other experiences so that they can understand that there are different things going on within the island, and it's not just one thing or the other. And so our guests are looking for immersive experiences, and that is what we are offering them today.
And as you can hear, Lisa, behind me, the town choir is welcoming guests coming here even now as we speak to this event where they will be wine and dine, and I may just join them. But from here at Grand Lancaster Great House in St. Thomas, it's Brian Broom going back to you live in the studio.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Have fun for me and you. And we say hello now to our Lisa Broom in the social media corner to tell us what is trending. Good evening, Lisa.
Good evening, Lisa, and thank you. Welcome again to What's Trending, the segment where we take a look at what's been generating a buzz on social media locally and internationally. Now, we're starting right here at home, and as Shane said earlier, one of the major talking points on social media is that police-involved shooting that happened in Britain's Hill last night, in which a young man lost his life. Now, among our Facebook community, there is some uncertainty about how the event actually unfolded yesterday, and it prompted this comment from Linda Freeman, who is hoping that the full story comes to light very soon. And others like Ty Hudson and Sandy Whitlock are worried about the number of shootings that are happening in Barbados, and Lise Hansen is concerned about the safety of her loved ones. Well, Lisa, now, along with tackling crime, another of government's top priorities is the beautification of the island. But unfortunately, we learned yesterday that the Sanitation Service Authority is still dealing with indiscriminate dumping even after the removal of the tipping fee at the mangrove landfill. So check out this reaction from our Facebook community. Caroline Bell says Bajans need to clean up their act and get back to the old ways of taking pride in their surroundings. And Mervyn Errol thinks the tipping fee should not have been removed just yet. There's also Kerry Turney, who believes that those who dump illegally should face the consequences. Well, today, that area in Long Beach, well, it looks completely different. It took about 3 hours, 3 truckloads and some manpower on the ground, but they were able to get the job done. Kudos to them. So while dumping indiscriminately, there are others who are actually doing their part to clean up the island. One area which received some much needed attention recently was Oistins. Many of the fish vendors who operate from the area came together and put all hands on deck to clean the fish market and the adjoining boatyard. And we're hearing that that space will be used as additional stall area in the upcoming Oistins Fish Festival. Now, speaking about the Fish Festival, earlier this week, the public was treated to a teaser of the upcoming festival, and some VIP guests came through. And they included Brooklyn rapper Kimberly Lil Kim Jones. I think you remember Lil Kim, Lisa, and Rosonda Chili Thomas of TLC. Take a look at this video.
Over and away right now. Welcome to Barbados. Welcome to Barbados. Welcome to the whole crew. Welcome to Side Place. Welcome to Oysters. No, don't forget anybody taking these
Now, Lisa, I will admit here that I quite like these reality shows. They're extremely entertaining, so I can't wait to see what this one is all about when it finally comes out. And speaking about what I'm looking forward to, I'm also looking forward to the Oistins Fish Festival. So by now, I'm sure you've heard the expression that anywhere you go around the world, you will find a Bajan. So if you happen to be in the UK in the next few months and taking in one of the shows of the Lion King musical tour, well, you guessed it, there will be a Bajan right on that stage. That's because Barbadian Dwayne Hines has been cast in the musical. Now, he officially made the announcement yesterday. Where else but social media? Dwayne has also previously appeared in one of CBC's programs, Bajan Women. So, congratulations to Dwayne. And that's all the time we have for tonight. So just to remind you, don't forget to visit our Instagram page at CBC News Barbados and our Facebook page as well, cbcnews.bb, to share your comments and your views. Of course, I have to remind you that those are all public forums, so I beg you, keep your comments clean. And remember, if you have a fun or interesting picture or video to share, you can send it to us via WhatsApp. The numbers are 233-7388, or there is 233-7555. You can also send it to us via email nca@cbc.bb. Your title is Pick of the Day, and it gives you a chance to be featured here on our social media. So I'll see you tomorrow for another look at what's trending and talking about being featured on our social media. Lisa, I'm warning you, I'm still trolling your social media looking for something to feature on here.
An earthquake was recorded west of Barbados in the wee hours of this morning. The Trinidad and Tobago-based UE Seismic Research Center says the 4.6 magnitude quake struck at 13 minutes past 1 this morning. It was recorded 74 kilometers southeast of Port Elizabeth in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and about 118 kilometers west-southwest of Bridgetown. The quake struck at a depth of 22 kilometers. Several other minor quakes were reported in the area of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. Well, the second holder of the transatlantic record and seventh female rower to cross the Atlantic solo has arrived in Barbados. Dawn Wood, an Essex police officer, completed that 3,000-mile journey from the Canary Islands to Barbados, coming ashore at Port St. Charles.
Cheering supporters were on hand to welcome Dawn Wood ashore after she completed the 3,000-mile journey. Among them, her mother, Sheila Smith, her husband, Jamie Wood, Barbados' Sports Minister, John King, and fellow Rotarians. It's been just over 6 weeks since she left the Canary Islands en route to Barbados.
I'm just very anxious and just overwhelmed really, just waiting for it to come in.
Not only is Dawn's trip an historic occasion, but it also brings awareness to pollution.
I did this to raise awareness for plastic pollution in our ocean, and on the way across, obviously I've seen quite a lot of plastic that's been floating around there. So I'm really hoping that what I've done is raise a bit of a profile and people will stop using single-use plastics and just be a bit more mindful about what they do with their rubbish afterwards. But the journey itself has just been incredible. There's been highs, there's been lows, but more highs than lows. And I made it across.
President of the Rotary Club of Barbados, Sean Franklin, said his members fully support Dawn's cause as it matches several of their missions.
We think Barbadians need to be a lot more aware of the damage that we're doing to our island and our world with plastics. We are very happy that we're now going in the direction of banning single-use plastics in Barbados, and Dawn's mission is very much in line with this, and she has many different ways of on her website of letting people know how you can go about using less single-use plastic in your life.
Along the way, Dawn collected water samples and raised over £9,000 for the Marine Conservation Society. Brianne Phillips, CBC News.
Well, it seems that those crop-over bands are coming earlier every year. The first one for the 2019 festival was launched at the Savannah Hotel last night, about 6 months before Grand Kadooment.
It will be Capri Culture's second year on the road. Last year, the band catered to 475 revelers. This year, that number should increase to 600. The band's leaders have seized the opportunity to showcase their costumes early in a market that's become extremely competitive.
We really wanted to come out early and let everyone see what we were bringing to the table this year, because we want to get out there. We wanted everybody to see the creativity, the fun, the joy. That's what we bring.
The theme of this year's presentation is full of pride, and that's how band leaders say they will carry themselves on the road this year, with 8 sections that appeal to diverse tastes.
Capri Culture, we don't just target a certain demographic, we kind of target everyone, We just like that mixed vibe, you know what I mean? Everyone can afford the costumes are brilliant, and the vibe is also brilliant. So this year, we on the road with a bang this year.
The organizers are already reporting a very good response, with those at the launch loving the new designs. Sean Farrell, CBC News.
Well, the media fraternity is in mourning tonight with the passing of outstanding sports journalist Bernard Babb. Babb, who was in his early 50s, had been ailing for some time and died last night. His friend and colleague Mike King recalls their days together at the Nation newspaper. where they started together in 1984. King described his friend Bernie as a solid all-round journalist, noting that his strengths were in tennis, football, surfing, and basketball, but particularly tennis, which he played. Bab also worked here at the CBC as well as the Caribbean Media Corporation. The most recent years, he worked in public relations, specializing in, of course, sports. The Barbados Association of Journalists and Media Workers, or BARJAM, has also expressed sincere condolences and sadness at Bab's passing. President Emmanuel Joseph says that Bab, who is an experienced media practitioner, will be badly missed, and he extended condolences to the Bab family on behalf of the members of the media fraternity. Well, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley was among regional leaders to engage the President of Estonia during the ongoing 30th Intersessional Meeting of CARICOM Heads. Kirsty Kalduled, who is the special guest, provided some insight into how our country effectively used technology to transform its government services and attract international investment. Estonia is considered to be the world leader in e-government and digital innovation and has become a model for many countries looking to update and improve public services. Ms. Kalduled told leaders by improving technology, Estonia was able to tap into services that made the society more efficient.
To do that, we created legal space in order to make digital technologies feasible in Estonia, so that the banks could go online with their services and were not obliged to offer paper-based services and send papers to people anymore, etc. This is what governments can do. Governments do not invent technology. And I don't even advise so much for the smart purchasing processes, just legal space creation. And we also wanted to tap into that technology to offer our own government services.